Here we go into the winners finals of today's tournament between the Pomelos and Riders and Friends. First off, for the Pomelos, we have the Reborn, Mobula powered by Sunstrum, Mercury Dual Artemis with the Hades on the left wing and a Gatling on the right. Their ally is the slow-moving Squid, Hades Lumberjack Mark II Flak on the left with the right side, Watch a Heavy Carronade and a rear flare gun. And for their opponents, Ryder and Riders and Friends, I'll have to double check. But regardless, they're bringing down the Undermined Integrity, left side Artemis, Dual Seraph Tempest, Gatling Mortar on the right, added by Kirwanai. And their ally, the Haunting, oh god, oh no, the Ghost of the Judgment is back. Minotaur center with a Tempest Artemis on the lower deck and the Harpoon Hwacha in the rear. This is more Seraph Tempest missiles than I have seen in the entire this entire year of competitive play. I don't know what to think about this except that I know my streaming frame rate is going to drop down as soon as those tiny missiles start flying around. So Minotaur, taking a look at this judgment here, my initial impression is that Red is going to have, well, all the teams are really kitted out for a long-range sniper battle, and I suspect Red team's going to have the advantage in that regard. They do have the Lumberjack, Haunting instead opting for a Minotaur, and same number of Artemis. The one difference here, and we'll see how this plays out, is bringing the 3 Seraph Tempest missiles for blue team instead of more Artemis, giving them up some pure disable power, but gives them a lot of harassment in terms of the fires, which can be very annoying. Seraph Tempest missile is a high a weapon with a high AoE radius and high inherent fire start chance, and what that means is depending on what ammo they're using, and I'm trying to see, I think it looks like Finks probably looks like incendiary ammo. So the two choices really for the Seraph Tempest missile are incendiary ammo and explosive, or burst ammo I should say. Burst ammo increasing the AoE radius, meaning that every one of those little missiles that comes out of the big cluster ball will hit multiple components, and that can be very annoying. So one volley of the Seraph can set 10-15 fires, and when you have 3 of them on a single target, it can be very difficult to deal with, especially if you're lacking chem spray. We can take a look at what Red Team's bringing here. Looks like we do have dual chem spray for the Reborn and chem extinguisher, so hopefully if chem rounds are met by for the Pomelos, they spin the camera the wrong way, they'll be able to deal with the Seraph Tempest spam. Otherwise, could be a nightmare to deal with. Now, Undermined Integrity is moving in. Junker is going to have the advantage here in close range. If they're able to close that distance, they can switch to the Gatling Mortar side, and Gat Mortar will shred this Mobula. And we do see them moving in some point-blank Seraph Tempest missiles. Gatling engaging on the Undermined Integrity. Artemis shot's going to be tough to miss because the Junker's too high. Reborn forced to duck down by the damage coming out from the Haunting. And Haunting currently doing permanent damage to the Mobula. Tempest and Artemis, Minotaur being very difficult for the Reborn to deal with, actually pushing them out of trying to push them out of Gatling range. Now, Undermined Integrity, not sure if they're trying. My expectation would be that the Junker would try to move into get that Gatling Mortar side going just for the sheer DPS increase, but it seems like at least for the time being, they're content to just strafe with their Tempest Artemis side, as blue team does have the advantage in this engagement. Slow-moving Squid moving forward, or backwards I should say, towards the Haunting. Saw them try to get a Hwacha connection, but the Minotaur turned them around. Minotaur, an interesting tech choice, which should be good against both the red ships, both the Galleon and the Reborn, very susceptible being turned around ships with, or turn a very wide long mast or long ship hull profile. So you hit at the edge of the ship, it's pretty far from the center of mass, and both ships have fairly low turning, so the knockback effect from the Minotaur can be very annoying. And you see Reborn actually trying to counter the Minotaur shots using Kerosene, the pilot of the Reborn. Since using engine thrust, increasing your engine thrust, and increasing your longitudinal drag. I don't know, someone will correct me in the chat. But Mobula is dead to the Haunting. Undermined Integrity is still pretty healthy. Have enough hull armor. But I don't think Slow Moving Squid going to be able to get a kill here, especially with that Minotaur knocking them around. And probably going to be a second point for Ryder and friends. Armor is down. Slow Moving Squid's moonshining away. And what I was trying to say earlier is that the increased longitudinal drag from engine tools like Kerosene and Moonshine will negate the bounce effect of the Minotaur. So what you will see is high-level pilots will try to counter the Minotaur by timing engine burn, even when they're not moving. They're just sitting in place. They'll use that. It's just the increased drag from having that tool on for a second, and they'll try to time it to the Minotaur shots. They know the timing, how long it takes the rate of fire for the gun, and they'll try to put the engine tool on to counter that knockback. Now, Reborn has spawned in close. Undermined Integrity switching targets here. Slow-moving Squid currently stuck on their close-range side, so they're not going to be able to do anything against this Junker, which is still relying on this the Tempest side here. Doing a good job keeping the Reborn disabled. And now armor is down. Another Artemis connection. Reborn half health is gone. 70% health is gone. Tempest missiles connecting. Reborn already almost dead. I'm not quite... look at the... Not quite sure what took out their armor. If it was just the fire stacking up from the Tempest missiles. But looks like it, for the time being, Junker's switching focus to the slow-moving Squid, giving their rear to the Mobula. I'm not sure about this decision, because they had an advantageous engagement on the Reborn. Slow-moving Squid also didn't seem to be that threatening to their allies, so I'm not sure why Junker decided to move out of close range. I really would like to see them use the Gatling Mortar, because they could get a very fast... The Reborn is so heavily damaged. The first armor break, they will be able to get a kill. I think it's only going to take 2 mortar shots to finish them off. But instead, they're choosing not to chase. Blue-moving Squid finally trying to get away from the Haunting. Looks like we're going to see a dual focus from Red. Watch a connection on the Undermined Integrity. Heavy Carronade not coming into effect yet. The Minotaur from the Haunting knocking the flipping the slow-moving Squid off of their close-range gun arcs. So Galleon's moving forward. They might be trying to go for a ram on the Junker, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it. Junker's running away. Undermined Integrity using hydrogen to rise up, dodges some of the Hwacha barrage. They do lose, it looks like, 3 guns, but they don't die. Oh, well, I spoke too soon. Bumping the slow-moving Squid while their armor was down, took out almost all of the Junker's health, and this might be it. Artemis is able to finish the Junker off, and now Pomelos have control of the situation. Haunting, Minotaur still being annoying, but I don't think they're going to be able to deal with both the Reborn and the slow-moving Squid. Reborn keeping that Kerosene on to charge forward. And I think the Minotaur, yeah, not going to be enough to save them here. Armor goes down again. Hades raining in. Balloon goes down to the Lumberjack. And we'll see if they clear this pipe, there could be an opportunity for blue team to save the engagement. Junker chooses to spawn in. Uh-oh. Big, heavy, flat connection. And Undermined Integrity spawned in close. I think that's what blue is going for. They're going to try to get behind that terrain. But unfortunately, the huge spike of damage from the heavy flak finished them off. And that means Junker needs to get the hell out of here. Now, they are pretty close to this western spike, which is located in the respawn zone, so they can use this for cover. And slow-moving Squid not going to be able to close the distance quickly enough to be able to navigate around this piece of terrain. So I think Junker probably going to be safe. And we'll see where Judgment spawns in. It looks like they spawned in behind the Junker. And Red's got to be careful. Reborn, very heavily damaged. And Minotaur strips armor pretty well. So a dual focus here, or even just the Judgment focusing the Minotaur. Mobula is within kill range, but Red Team's already getting a dual focus while the Undermined Integrity is repositioning. Haunting, 40% permahealth is gone. Undermined Integrity moving in behind the Reborn. Reborn moving forward to stay out of their gun arcs. And I think Judgment is going to die before Blue is able to return a single volley of fire. Judgment is dead. Undermined Integrity behind the Reborn, but they're still on that triple explosive side. So you can see those fires. If you look on the left side of the screen, you can see the fires stacking up on the Reborn, but the whole armor, we can check in here. Full armor is chem sprayed, so it's not going to be going down. The explosive incendiary is just not going to cut it when they're looking to finish off this damaged ship. And now Red Team decisively winning that engagement. Haunting spawns back in close. They could potentially get the rear here on the Reborn, but Reborn is ducking down, chasing the Junker to the bottom of the map, have him pretty well locked down, but Junker's balloon is going to do a good job blocking a lot of that downward fire. So Undermined Integrity still not really in harm's way, but they have to actually make something happen. They have to contribute to this fight because Haunting is just getting torn apart. Armor is already down. Balloon is gone. Heavy flat connection. Tempest picking away at their health. They are so low. They just spawned in and already are dead. Undermined Integrity. You have to help. Oh, they've been keeping themselves alive, but just the Judgment gets stuck out in open air. And I think this Junker build here not working out. They just don't contribute enough kill damage. They don't have any piercing on the left side. They're refusing to use their Gatling mortar. Reborn, this is a 20% health Mobula that's been alive for the past 3 fights. They need to get this kill. Reborn's balloon looks like is, I think, got burned down. So here's an opportunity. Haunting's fighting slow-moving squid in the background, but Undermined Integrity needs to get this kill. Finally, Gatling engaging on the Mobula. One armor break will do it. And the Reborn, half balloon, they're hydrogening up. Half balloon, it looks like might be enough to keep them alive. They're firing the mortar early, trying to get the armor break, and they do. Mobula goes down. Second point on the board for Ryder and friends. Slow-moving squid stuck in Blue's spawn, so no Mobula reinforcement. This could be a 3rd point for Ryder and friends. We'll see how long slow-moving squid decides to tank. 7 minutes currently left on the clock, so not enough time for Ryder and friends to take this game if they play aggressively, but they can't dawdle. The slow-moving squid squeaks away. I think Undermined Integrity actually getting a little bit bamboozled, and seems like Galleon with the moonshine is actually going to be able to survive, to make it away. No Minotaur shots halting their fire, and there's look at that, they're zooming away. That longitudinal max speed buff coming into play here. And look at that, Blue just not able to capitalize. And so they have the Pomelos have this almost full health Galleon to work with and are still on match point. Haunting's moving in. Undermined Integrity. Looks like Blue Team currently executing a dual focus on slow-moving squid. I think Junker trying to get into position to hit the Reborn. No, they're descending on the Galleon. Reborn hitting the Haunting. Yeah, Red Team dual focusing the Judgment. As the Haunting's balloon taking a lot of damage. Rogue shoot. Armor is down on the Blue Judgment. No follow-up. No heavy flak shots. Looks like the heavy flak was actually down to the Artemis. as Undermined Integrity, Haunting has to duck out of the fight, but Undermined Integrity has moved in. We need to see we need to see them do damage here. This left side is not gonna cut it at close range, but they're having trouble keeping up with the Reborn. Hydrogen popping them up, Junkers rising up as well, overshooting it. Uh-oh, they're going to space. See ya. SpaceX. Reborn ducking down again. Now they're way too far away, but here's the Gatling. Okay, Junker, okay, they're able to recover back to Earth. Gatling engaging the Reborn. They could get a kill here. A mortar will finish Mobula very quickly if they're able to keep them in check and prevent them from disengaging, but unfortunately another good Hydro jumping over the Junker. Armor doesn't even go down. Undermined Integrity hurting, lost their balloon to the Lumberjack of the slow-moving Squid. Reborn coming in from the rear, and that looks like Heavy Flak finishing them off. Potentially an opportunity for them to claw their way back into the game, but Pomelos' very strong performance just didn't give their opponents a single ounce of leeway. And they take the game 5-2, and they'll be moving on to the grand finals, while Ryder and friends will be moving to the losers bracket to take on Fancy Cloud Dancers.